Hi YouTube. I'm here to share my testimony. Happened about 6 or 7 years ago. I lived my whole life without knowing God, without ever going to church, I didn't know the gospel. I didn't understand what Jesus did. I didn't know what it meant about him laying on the cross like that. I didn't get it, and I didn't think it was true. Um, so I tried all these other religions. I tried all these other things, whatever I thought was, you know, joyful and happy and peaceful and sounded good to me. And, I tried following all these different things. I tried drugs and alcohol. I tried party life. I tried having a good job and having a lot of money. I tried traveling to other countries. I tried a lot of stuff. And I still felt this empty hole within me. And I just felt like something will make me happy for a short period of time, and then it was gone. Like there was just something missing. And I was just trying really hard to find what that was. And then one day I was talking crap about Christians. And then I realized I don't even know what they believe. I don't really know what I'm speaking against. So I decided to read the Bible, and I read the whole thing. It took me about a year to read the whole thing. And for somebody like me who doesn't really like to read that much, that was its own miracle. So I started from the beginning and went all the way to the end. And it was just an amazing book. If you've read it, it is just insane. There's so much. It's just oh my gosh, so many different time lapse, so many different people, so many different generations of different things, and um, so much war, so much fighting, so much traveling, so much stuff that God asks for, and so many things that God does, and just there's stories of romance. There's stories of just generation after generation after generation and what their names are and how to create this giant building and town. And it was just wild. And I just could not wait to get to the New Testament because I really wanted to learn who Jesus is. And so I loved reading the New Testament. And the Old Testament's awesome too, but I just couldn't wait to learn about Jesus. And it was just incredible to read about this amazing, amazing being. And as awesome as it was, I still didn't understand the whole deal with heaven and hell. If God is so loving and so kind, then why is there even hell in the first place? And it just made me search. I looked things up, went to different websites, watched videos of people who've had supernatural experiences with God, and I eventually, one day I saw a video of a woman who God took her on a trip to heaven and hell. And as amazing as heaven was, when they went down to hell, they spoke to a woman, and Jesus was sobbing for her, and that was all I needed to see. Um, he said it's too late. So what I needed to see was that hell was created, first of all, not for humans. The Garden of Eden was created for humans. We broke that when, he ate the fruit and did the one first sin that destroyed all humanity. That is what separated us from what God created for us. So he brought his son Jesus to die on the cross to pay the price of our sins so that we can go to heaven. He paid this ultimate price for us so that we just have to choose him and follow him and let him pay the price for our sins so we can spend eternity with him. When I realized this, I was so devastated at first. I was completely devastated. It was the most sorrow was the most pain I have ever felt in my entire life. I literally felt like I was going to die. Like I could not take another breath in that amount of sorrow. To think that that's real, that hell is real, that heaven is real, that God is real, that there's people suffering for all eternity because they did not choose Jesus. It was so, it was enough to completely change everything in my life. Everything. I just had this intense love for other people, for humanity. I had this intense love for God. I completely was filled with love for Him for dying on the cross for us. I was so grateful for what He did for us. It did fill that empty hole, that's for sure. I felt so full. I felt like so free to know Him. I felt like this weight lifted off of me. It was absolutely incredible. It still is to this day. Um, God is so good. He's always been there for me my whole life. Just when I look back at my history, He was just, He's always been there, you know? He's always been, He cares for every one of us. He loves every one of us, and He gives us all the decision to make, to choose Him or not choose Him. So that is my story. I have one little experience before I was saved where Jesus really did come and try to speak to me and get me to turn from my ways. And I was getting ready to go out one night, and right before I was leaving, I heard a voice in my head, and it was God Himself saying, and I just knew it was Him. He said, "Don't go out, turn around and follow me." And the way He said it was so loving and so kind, and I just knew it was God, even though I didn't know God. I didn't read the Bible, but I knew it was Him, and I knew it was full of love and wisdom and care for me, and He was just this loving Father that just gave me this spiritual hug. And I just, out loud, I said to that voice in my head, I said, "No, I'm not ready." And I said it again. I said, "No, I am not ready." And I just left the house and went and did my own thing. And that was absolutely insane that I didn't have that change my mind. It just seemed like like it was not that big of a deal. There's God Himself speaking to me, and I literally said to Him, "No." So if I did die that night, I surely deserved to go to hell, because He spoke to me and told me to go to Him. I didn't even need to read the Bible. I didn't need to go to church. He said to Himself, "Heather, come to me." And I said no. And I just can't believe it. But thank God I lived long enough to take the time to read the Bible and get to know Him at my own pace. Just as selfish as it was, God is so forgiving. He's so gracious. He's so incredible. He's so loving. He's so kind. He does fill that empty void within me every day of my life, and I am so filled with strength because of the love of God that He has for me. I just pray for you to have your own experience with God. Not that He has to speak to you, but just read His Word and just pray to Him, and just you'll have your own experience. Whatever that means, you'll have your own experience. I just pray that you get blessed by this story with my testimony. I have another story. I had a traumatic brain injury a few years ago and was miraculously healed. And the fact that I can speak to you and tell you this other testimony is a total miracle. So yes, whenever that video is released, you should definitely watch that one as well. All right. Well, God bless, and thanks for watching.